Okay, somebody had asked at some point, and I figured that I would do this. Get out all of my Panasonic Camcorders. I think they actually asked for a video about all of my VHS-C cameras. I'm recording with a JVC GR-AX96 right now, and I've also got, in the closet over there, I've got a GR-AX910. But here's all the Camcorders. These are the other VHS-C cameras. I've arranged them from the oldest to the newest, although there's one outlier back there. This is the PV-A206D with the hidden remote control. This one does not have a date on it. I don't know who didn't do their one job at the Panasonic factory that day, but this one doesn't have a date on it. It's a nice unit. It's rather basic, but it does have a color viewfinder and a remote control. You can tell it's got a color viewfinder by the shape of the viewfinder arm. Black and white viewfinders look like this, but we'll get into that in a minute. Here's the oldest unit of the bunch. From 1991, this is the Panasonic Camcorder PV-11D. Records beautifully. Except there's one problem. Well, it's not really a problem, but rather that's just the way it was designed. The microphone's a little muffled. It's also got the PV-LT11 video light on it, which you can see there. It's the oldest unit of the bunch. October of 1991, when it was made then. Still works. The next oldest one is this. This is the camera that, or one of the cameras that Ross ACB gave me. That noise was just that thing. The alarm went off. Well, it didn't go off. It's just set to go off. If I were to turn the alarm on, it would go off. But anyways, this is the PV-IQ403 with its remote control. Although this one's got a lever for ejecting the remote. This one does not record. I'm assuming that somebody dropped it, which would explain the dent in the windscreen for the microphone. But it doesn't record. It has problems with eating tapes. So it could be that, or it could be bad belts. It's rather sickly sounding, so I'd assume that there's probably a belt problem in there as well. It just sits in the low-end radio studio as a studio camera because the picture's really good. And it's also got a color viewfinder. I think I said this one was made in 93. This one was made in 1995. This is the newest addition to the bunch. Depending upon the order I edit these videos, you will not have seen a video of this thing yet, or you will have. It will be the one right before this. It's already on the VHS-C tape that I'm using right now, so I just have to import it and edit it. This is a PV-IQ415. You'd assume that it would be a higher-end model based on that, but it's actually not. From what I can tell, this one's got far more features than this one does. In fact, this one is so primitive that it doesn't even really have a menu system on it, whereas I think this one does. Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, this one might not have a menu system on it either. I know it's got a clock setting. It's got a clock setting menu. I guess you could call that a menu, but either way, it doesn't have the same number of features. This one's got undoubtedly more of them. Although this one's also got a high-speed shutter, and this one does not. But anyways, this one's got more playback controls. All the playback controls are here as opposed to on the camcorder viewfinder stock, which obviously Panasonic was really fond of doing. This one doesn't have it either. It's got it on the side. The next oldest unit is actually my relative to this one. This is the PV-A106. The difference is that it's got a black and white viewfinder, which you can obviously tell. It's different from this one. And it does not have the remote control. In fact, it doesn't even have the IR receiver for the remote control, so you couldn't even use a remote control with it. But it also records just fine as well. And then right beside it, when was this one? I think this one was made in 96. Let's see, May of 1996. So it's about as old as I am. It's a month newer. Month younger. But anyways, this is my one of my highest end cameras. It's actually tied up right now. I'm recording a video with this of a renovation project that's going very, very slowly. But this is a PVL457 with the Palm Sight LCD screen. I'm assuming that's what the L means in the model number. Let's see if I can open it with one hand. Well, you can get the picture, and that's what the viewfinder, or not the viewfinder, the LCD looks like. It's rather small. I'd assume that it was probably supposed to be meant to take up all of that space there, maybe an even larger one that took up that much space. It's also got an on-off switch, which is not something you'll find on a modern LCD screen. It also records fine. And my highest end model, at least I'm assuming it's my highest end model because it's got the most features, is my... Oh, I almost forgot. That one was made in 1997. This one was made in 98. It's the PV-L608. It's got all kinds of fancy features on it. And a large LCD screen, which you might be able to see. If I turn on the video light to help you see this a little better, I'd assume that it would probably run the battery that I'm using to record this video down, so... I'd assume that there was probably a higher-end model that would have had a color viewfinder in addition to all of that, and maybe a remote control. Though I think this one would have had a remote control, because it's got the IR receiver in the front of it. This one does too, and I didn't get a remote with it. But this one also doesn't have a video light. I'm assuming there would have been a higher-end model in this chassis that would have had a video light as well. But this is the other unit that doesn't record. Well, it records, but it's got a little bit of a speed problem, so the audio sounds kind of warbly and funny, even though the video looks okay. So I don't use it. It actually sits in the low-end radio studio as well on top of that tripod. Okay, so there's my video of all of my Panasonic Camcorder camcorders. I hope you enjoyed it. Definitely got a lot of these. No, none of them are for sale because I use all of them. And I don't really like to sell things anyways. At least not over the internet. That's not how I do things. I like to maintain my privacy. So, there you go. You can also see some of the various camcorder bags. I don't have enough power supplies for all of these cameras, but that's not really going to matter because I don't use all of them all at once anyways. So, there you go. Thank you for watching. If you have any comments, feel free to leave them down below. And this is CP666 signing off. I hope to see you next time. Till then. Man, I think it's a 1.4 gigabyte hard drive.